Fundamental to what we do is our quick link network platform. Why is it so important for companies to be connected?
In order to enable a multi-echelon supply chain, you first need to be part of a network. You need trading partners doing businesses with each other. Fundamentally, they're trying to automate their business processes. They're trying to collaborate and take the market to a whole new level. And in order to do that, you first start with a network. And that's why the network becomes extremely important. The network needs to have the right characteristics. It needs a good size. It needs good qualities. It has certain properties where you're able to transact smoothly, you're able to automate business processes effectively, and then eventually collaborate.
I perceive that there's some intimidation or trepidation that people might have. Would you agree, first of all, that those are some of the historic challenges, and secondly, and more importantly, what are we doing about them?
I would agree. In fact, what is a network worth, right? I mean, people talk about challenges that they face with regards to automation, but without a network in place, most of these challenges are pretty meaningless, because only once you have a network of operating trading partners and they are working very, very smoothly, until then, you really haven't realized any benefits. The only benefit you would have otherwise is around automation, which is not very high in value. It's essential, but it's not high in value. Where you start seeing some of these value differentiators kick in is when your network hits a threshold, where you are able to take small changes and create butterfly effects throughout the network. And that is why getting to that level or getting to that threshold is critical. So what have we done to enable that? So we said our transaction model is fundamentally powered by business concepts. We have a social collaboration layer on top that allows trading partners to communicate, collaborate, exchange on issues, on processes, on automation guidelines, and so on. But the key point is, how can you reduce the overall cost of onboarding? So what we have in place is powerful tools to take a partner from point A to point B, sometimes in a matter of hours. So what would take days in the past has been reduced to hours now. And that is by employing emerging technologies, by making the right architectural choices, and by using what we know about our industry.
What are our customers saying about what you just described?
So what has happened is, over the past few years, again, it goes back to our incumbent trading partner story, right? You go ahead and automate and onboard the top 20% of your network, and people have done that. How are you going to get to the huge tail? How are you going to get them on the system? And you don't want to get into the same cost model when you're adding these trading partners. So you need to have systems that fundamentally reduce the total cost of onboarding. And most of the companies that Elimica work with get it. Every time I talk to people, they say, yes, you have mass onboarding tools in place. We have campaign management, we have partner discovery. So we can put all these things together. Right from the time you know that you want to onboard a particular partner, look at their characteristics using our discovery, add them to a campaign using our campaign management tool, and broadcast and mass onboard all the way through go live into our system. And these are powerful tools that we've put in place.
This collaboration I'm hearing you describe sounds a lot like some of the B2B communication benefits that you see in other ecosystems, if you will. Is that a fair description?
We used the best of breed emerging technologies in order to put together what we have now. So cloud is a good example. We are going mobile very soon. So from a social perspective, I think what we've done is we said, let's take the B2C market, analyze it, and try to map what is relevant in the B2B space. And where we think there is relevance is fundamentally around communication. Communication is extremely important. We enable machine-to-machine communication through integration, but when people want to talk to each other and you want it to be regulated or you want it to be free depending on the nature of the conversation, social networks are probably the best suited for that kind of collaboration. In addition, trading partners, since they are since they're part of the Elimica platform, they do have certain network characteristics that they would like to exchange or discuss about. In some cases, on-time carrier performance, maybe compliance metrics, maybe there are production issues that they'd like to discuss in greater detail, and maybe there's a general regulatory issue out there. The SF 10+2 is a good example, and if you want to enable some collaboration around those topics, I think some of these channels we've put in place are extremely important.
What does the learning curve look like from these new capabilities as compared to the status quo or things that have been in place inside of our customers for many years?
There is a very strong trend in the market, especially around the acceptance of social networks. I mean, they are widely accepted. People understand the word social. People are open to exchanging information using public walls, using broadcasting channels. There's a lot of commotion and movement around some of these channels that exist, and people are already used to it. They're very open to it. So in general, regardless of where you are in the overall scheme of things, there is acceptance. And there is social acceptance, if I may, and that is what people are that's what is going to drive people in order to reduce the learning curve overall and make it more acceptable.